Hello. So, I'm Knuckles Up. And this is Tim.
Hi, just Tim.
And we're going to continue our conversation from the last one. And if you haven't seen that, maybe I'll put a link somewhere, but more than likely you'll have to find it. But either way, we were talking about the blockchain and how it's the foundation for a lot of understanding in the cryptocurrency markets. And we had a question that was like, why did you start with the blockchain over anything else? And to me, I feel like if you don't understand how the blockchain works, then you're not going to get all the different cryptocurrencies and why they're different and why you'd want to be invested in each one individually. So, like I explained it in the last one, but I'll say it again, that Bitcoin was introduced as a protocol, and part of the protocol was the blockchain technology. So when Bitcoin came out, so did blockchain technology, and then other companies were able to use blockchain technology from that point on. So Ethereum is an open source blockchain that companies can build on, which makes it different from Bitcoin, which only uses the blockchain technology as a ledger. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I get it.
Okay, so like Ethereum, there's Cardano is exactly the same as Ethereum in the sense of it's a blockchain that companies can build off of.
Does Cardano run off of the Ethereum network, or is it its own blockchain?
It's its own blockchain. And Cardano's a little different in that it doesn't have as many, like Chainlink is an ERC20 token, which means it's on the Ethereum blockchain. And then trying to think of some other ones that are Ethereum. DAI is a stable coin that's built on blockchain, and I could keep going, but when it comes to Cardano, there's not as many built on it. It's trying to really build the back end and make it presentable to be used. In one instance, Cardano was used in Africa to track students and their grade point averages, because they just never really had that system before. Now, it doesn't really boost the price of Cardano, but in my eyes, it's like there's a use case, it works well, and it does help that community, so that's awesome in its own right. But those are two very separate entities. For some history, the Ethereum founder, Vitalik Buterin, and the Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson, used to work together on Ethereum, but they branched out different ideas on how they want to do things. One really isn't any better than the other. I would probably catch some hell for saying that, but in the grand scheme of things, Ethereum has a lot of goals they need to hit that could surpass Cardano, but Cardano's making moves a lot faster. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between a proof of stake blockchain and a proof of work blockchain. Do you know the difference?
I do, but I couldn't explain it at all. I know Bitcoin is proof of work and Ethereum's proof of stake.
Ethereum 2.0 will be proof of stake.
Okay.
Right now it's proof of work, and that's why it's trying to get to switch over to be more. Proof of stake makes it a lot more faster. You can have a lot more transactions per second, which is like the goal of all these companies and cryptocurrencies. But
that means that proof of stake means that other people are pretty much checking the blocks as they close and voting on things, correct?
Yes. Yeah. For a simplistic view of it, that is how it works. The proof of work blockchain is more of that solving the puzzles, where there's all these computers trying to solve one puzzle at a time, and when they solve it, that block closes. With proof of stake, you have everybody putting up their Ethereum into having some sort of voting rights in a way, and they penalize bad actors for doing anything nefarious, and so that just doesn't really happen in proof of stake. There's enough fail-safes that it is in the hands of the people, but really in the hands of the community, not any individuals, and they have ways of making it so it doesn't monopolize in any way by disincentivizing large liquidity pools, but that can get way more intricate.
Yeah.
But it's important to know that because Cardano, for instance, we were talking about that, Cardano is proof of stake already, and that's moving along, whereas Ethereum was initially a proof of work blockchain. They have evolved, and they're going into ETH 2.0, but they've been known to push off their deadlines.
They've been saying that for a while now.
Yeah. Ethereum 2.0 was supposed to come out in 2018, and it's 2021, and we're still pushing for it. And I think they said 2023 for it to be completely implemented. Although they do have like roadmap steps, and they're hitting a lot of those steps as of late, whereas before they weren't hitting any. So I do have a lot of confidence that Ethereum is going to be that 2.0 in pretty good time, enough time that it'll make that splash. But yeah, so that's why we kind of started with the blockchain, because you really need to understand that, and then you can just branch out. Everything from there is kind of like, that's where the tree begins. Those are the roots. Go ahead.
Why did you get into Bitcoin? Like, what was your aha moment, or like your reason behind even looking into it?
Well, I loved technology, and I was trying to find different avenues to make passive income. And there was real estate, and there was investing, and this and that. And Bitcoin had crossed my plate, but I knew nothing about it. I just saw it as an investment. And this was in 2017 as it was skyrocketing up. And so I bought in very early, $13,000, $19,000, and then it dropped, being worth all the way down to $3,000. Where most people would have sold, I hadn't really put that much in. At the time, it was a lot for me, but I still was like, well, I'm just going to leave it because hopefully I get that back. At the same time, I'm going to figure out what I'm invested in. And It was the first time I ever gave a crap about my wealth, decided to look into things. And the more I looked into it, the more I was intrigued, and I just kept going and going. And, now I still have a hard time finding any problems with Bitcoin in general. As far as, and what about yourself?
What, how I got into it?
Yeah.
It was you.
I figured, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, because I've done investing off and on here and there. I never really, I enjoyed it when I had the time, and then...
And this is in stocks.
Before, yeah, in stocks. And that was probably 8-9 years ago. And then last couple of years, my wife and I have been doing real estate, which we've really enjoyed doing that. And I just dove in when we started figuring it out. And now that's what I'm doing with Bitcoin, because we got the real estate down, we kind of have what we're doing, we got our network, and now I'm just diving into Bitcoin because it's so interesting. I'm not techie. I don't understand all of the nitty gritty, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I can see the absolute potential of where it's going.
Yeah. And Tim's kind of a great example of somebody that I had been preaching to and he was one of the earliest ones to jump on, but I'd been preaching to for a little bit, and then slowly he's like, I guess I'll get some Bitcoin. Well, that's pretty. I guess I'll get some Bitcoin and Ethereum. And now, before the video, we were just talking. He got some engine and amp, and none of this is a financial advice, but those are pretty obscure coins, and but yet they have good potential. So you could get into that, but I don't recommend doing that right out the gate. I think figuring out just how everything works out and starting the wealth building process of getting, and I don't recommend this, but it's what I did, is getting some Bitcoin, getting some Ethereum, seeing that growth and understanding what it can add to society, and then seeing where its downfalls are and where the competitors might be, and that should really broaden your horizons.
Well, before I even started doing all that, I did Bitcoin, and then you had told me about BlockFi, where I can move it over and make interest on my money.
Yes.
Which I think that will be a whole nother video we'll do.
It'll have to be. Since we've spoken, when I initially had Tim do this, you could put up to 2 Bitcoin into BlockFi and get 6% compound interest yearly on that money. And that's in comparison to a bank, you're getting 0.01, 0.3 is absurd. And so to hear and see 6%, that's crazy. And but now they've been slowly lowering it because they're seeing that potential of the growth, which I think should be some good flags for everybody. But it was 1 Bitcoin, and then it was 0.5 Bitcoin. Now it's 0.25 Bitcoin, and if you hold any more than that 0.25, everything over it you're getting 1%. Everything below that, you'll get that 6% still. Mm-hmm. But they keep bringing it down because when I was pushing people, Bitcoin was only $8,000, $10,000 a piece. When it gets upwards of $50,000, $60,000 a piece, that throws all their stuff off. So it's just a good indicator of where things will probably go with a company like BlockFi, which is very established, a great place to make your wealth work for you kind of deal.
Well, one of my biggest nerve-wracking things about that was moving from one thing to BlockFi.
Like Coinbase to BlockFi.
Not knowing what I was doing or how I was doing, because I know I called you.
Oh yeah, it can be terrifying.
Yeah, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I slowly figured it out, but yeah, it's definitely. I'd rather have my money sit there making more money than
not
me just going out and drinking for a night.
yeah. And it's nice because you'll get the money from the actual growth of the product. So Bitcoin's price going up, but then you're also getting on the back end interest paid out. So it's a win-win, and it's definitely the way to go. There's multiple ways to do it. There's Celsius, there's Digifox, there's BlockFi, and I believe Nexo, although I don't like Nexo. I don't recommend any of these. I would recommend BlockFi and Voyager if you wanted to get interest. Those two are very good, reputable, backed. But like Celsius is good and Nexo is good. There's just historically being in as long as I know Nexo has done nefarious things in the past. So I wouldn't say they're going to run off with your money, but at the same time, I like a good track record.
Yeah.
And they did some essential pump and dump scenarios on some coins. But that's probably a story for another day. But yeah, so I guess like in general, what I've advocated, what Tim has done successfully, is moving some of your fiat currency, which is your dollars, into cryptocurrency, and the safest plays are going to be what are considered blue chips, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Polkadot. Those all have growth potential as well as can be staked for good percentages. So you can make some passive income while setting yourself up for the future. Seems like a win-win.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So this might be a good place to stop for a conversation here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff if you want. And we'll be in touch. Bye.
Bye.
Vietnam.